And cool conditions today. A rainy Friday, and that rain could last into a part of the weekend. I'll track it on Futurecast coming up next.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we are in our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Thursday, April 10th, 2025.
I have to give you some credit, my friend, at not giving into the temptation of a 4-day weekend for your birthday.
I know, this is a great way to spend my birthday. Well, actually, I was born at 4:30 in the morning, so it's only fitting that I'm working.
There you are, you get to hang out with Bob and I.
My parents say I always woke up early because I was born early in the morning. I don't know if there's a correlation, but... well, one thing we do know today, Bob, it is cold outside for my birthday.
It is a chilly start for your birthday. Yeah, maybe you should have been born a few months from now into the summertime. It would have been a little milder, but no, happy birthday, Elisa. We are looking at chilly conditions this morning, 39 in Red and 42 in Georgetown and Delmarva. Temperatures are creeping up. We're talking about a little bit of frost inland. That was probably a couple hours ago. Now I think that most of that has melted. Mid-40s at the beaches as the breeze is starting to pick up out of the southeast, more so along the coast, lighter inland areas. And look at that. As I say that, they canceled the frost advisory that was in effect for the eastern shore and parts of Maryland too. So temperatures are beginning to climb with clouds increasing and the breezes picking up. Even a few showers around D.C. Are these hitting the ground? That's the big question, but they're probably going to dry up by the time they get to us. We have a lot of dry air aloft. It's rain to the west and even snow into the Great Lakes. That system will give us a better chance of rain tonight into tomorrow, but not today. We're looking at temperatures slowly rising through the 40s into the low 50s by mid-morning. I think mid-50s by noon. We're seeing 40s at the beaches. It gets breezy, kind of a raw feel this afternoon with the clouds increasing. 50s inland, 40s at the beaches. Then everybody into the 40s as we go into the evening hours. Increasing clouds. I gave it a green light for the morning commute. Chilly and dry, and then kind of breezy and cool for the afternoon and evening hours, but staying dry. So keeping with the green light.
Thank you, Bob. We're getting a live look now at Delaware's capital city of Dover. Today, there are about 5 pieces of legislation expected to be reviewed in the General Assembly. And also on the schedule, they're getting a visit from the governor. That is our top story this hour. It's another first for Delaware Governor Matt Meyer. This afternoon, he will deliver his State of the State address in front of the General Assembly. It occurs 3 months after his inauguration. It also comes about a week after he made public budget amendments for fiscal year 2026, including restructuring the state income tax brackets, increasing pay for government workers, and an initiative to get cell phones out of classrooms. The speech is scheduled for 2:30 p.m.
And Meyer has been in office since January 21st. During that time, we have seen nominations and bills signed into law. And in March, he nominated Judge Eric Davis as president of the Superior Court of Delaware. Meyer signed into law measures that strengthen corporations to prevent them from leaving Delaware for other states, and he appointed a new public advocate to challenge the energy prices of utility companies.
New this morning, we are awaiting the arrival of a new piece of history in Lewis. The Lewis Junction Railroad and Bridge Association is adding a donated steam locomotive tender to the tracks next to the Lewis Library. It's supposed to take place this morning.
Yeah, very soon, and CoastTV is at the junction right now. And joining the current caboose that is right there, there will be another train that's coming. It's a slope-shaped car that's used to hold coal and wood to fuel trains. It will be joining that red caboose that stands there now and will help tell the story of Delaware's rails.
Yeah, we're being told that that car is on its way. It's not there yet. We've been tracking this all morning. It was expected to arrive at 5:30. As you can see, it's still not there yet. Now, in addition to the car, there's also National Train Day that takes place on May 10th that's held by the association. That's when the association will commemorate it by driving in a golden stake into the rail.
And happening today, continued work on managing growth in Sussex County. The newly formed Land Use Reform Group is back for another session. Members of the 10-person group include a civil engineer, a farmer, and representatives from DelDOT who say road improvements related to new developments could take more time to be completed. One person who spoke at a previous meeting says growth means stress on resources.
Hard objective limits on resources. When you use up water, when you use up land, those resources are inelastic. When you run up against the limit of a resource, you need to reduce or stop your usage of it.
Group member and real estate and land use attorney John Horner says housing prices will skyrocket if building slows or even stops.
On the coast this afternoon, we will learn more about the health of coastal bays. It's when the University of Maryland Center for Environmental Science will provide an update to Worcester County's Planning Commission. There are 6 bays expected to be covered: Assawoman, St. Martin's River, Sinapogset, Isle of Wight, Newport, and Chincoteague. And according to a 10-year action plan, health is determined by 4 water quality indicators. They are nitrogen, phosphorus, chlorophyll A, and dissolved oxygen. And this will take place at 1 at the Government Center in Snow Hill.
An update to a story we first brought to you Wednesday. Delaware voters might need to start carrying photo ID with them. That's if one new bill is signed into law. The proposed House Bill 112 would require photo ID for all voters. The bill sponsor, Brian Shoup, tells us that bill hopes to update the state's voter registration lists, and he says it will hopefully decrease voter fraud. The bill would also reduce the cost to get a photo ID in the state. The leaders with Delaware's ACLU chapter say it would create barriers to voting.
We've seen in a lot of states that have these photo ID laws is that it can actually stop people from ever registering to vote.
And Representative Shoup says that bill is expected to be discussed at the next Elections House Committee meeting sometime in May.
Here's something in this morning in Maryland. Attorney General Anthony Brown reacting to the passage of several bills that he had a hand in crafting. They came from recommendations by the Maryland Equitable Justice Collaborative. That is a statewide initiative that addresses incarceration racial disparities. And one of the newly passed bills broadens early release access for people who are aging or sick. Another gives long sentences another review if the crime was committed when the offender was between 8 and 25 years old. A third aims to reduce criminalizing students' behavior.
An update to road work taking place in Georgetown. According to the town, after being postponed due to weather, that work is expected to happen today. This includes lane and shoulder closures. On your screen now is the railroad crossing where the Delmarva Central Railroad Company is performing maintenance work at Route 9. That work is set to begin today at 9 a.m. and it's expected to be completed by April 25th at 5 p.m.
If you live in Delmar and see this outside smoke, fire department says don't be alarmed. According to the department, the Delaware Forest Service is performing controlled burns in the area. And this is at the intersection of Line Road and Pepper Box Road. The Delaware Forest Service plans to plant new trees on Saturday.
And this morning, a Brooklyn, New York man is facing 4 charges after police say it chased with a car with the Ocean View Police Department Tuesday night. According to police, 31-year-old Trumaine Gibbs did not stop for officers after they say he was speeding on Central Avenue. The 2 police car chase ended, but not before Gibbs crashed into a fence on Route 54 near Selbyville at Coastal Flooring. When the car was stopped in the Atlantic Lake subdivision, a woman passenger got out and ran away. According to police, she is yet to be found.
We're getting a live look now at Washington, D.C. It's where a big change in tariff policy led to a big jump in the stock market. On Wednesday, President Trump announced a pause on nearly all the nations the U.S. trades with. And Trump says this pause will allow more time to negotiate.
As NBC's Alice Barr shows us, China was not included in that pause. In fact, the president increased tariffs on Chinese imports.
A mass exhale and surging stocks on Wall Street as President Trump suddenly reversed course, announcing a 90-day pause in his punishing tariffs on 75 countries that reached out to negotiate.
You have to be able to show a little flexibility.
The president, though, keeping new baseline 10% tariffs in place, along with previous tariff rounds, including on Mexico and Canada. But all eyes are on the deepening rift with China. President Trump hiking tariffs on Chinese imports even more to 125% after China's retaliatory taxes on U.S. goods jumped to 84%, taking effect overnight.
China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it.
The U.S.-China trade relationship is huge, and a sustained trade war could mean higher prices in the U.S. on everything from apparel and electronics to fireworks.
That price has to go somewhere.
And Tonka toy trucks.
The harm that's being caused is really catastrophic, and please make a deal quickly.
As the president negotiates with other countries, administration officials insist the stock market plunges of recent days did not prompt his tariff reversal.
Absolutely not. The tariff plan for the president, look, he's trying to fix the fundamental trade imbalances that have been going on for this country for 35 years.
While Democrats and even some Republicans say the Wall Street chaos sends a clear message.
It's not just me that thinks the tariffs are bad for the economy.
Urging the White House to make a plan in the next 90 days. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News today.
Yeah, coming up, Chincoteague seeks slip increase. Why town officials are considering charging more money and their plan to use those additional funds.
Also, Students Stand Up Against Abuse will show you the meaning of this project in Snow Hill and what students hope to accomplish.
But first, protecting the history of Ocean Pines, how homeowners are coming together to make a difference. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
Time flies, and if you don't take a little time to commemorate the good moments, those memories can fade away. In today's Coastal Connections, reporter Kevin Zappe shows us how one group in Ocean Pines is trying to keep history alive in their community.
Inside the Ocean Pines Administration Building is a room dedicated to sorting through the history of the community. Elaine Brady and Jenny Cropper-Ryan spend hours volunteering to sort everything out.
We're sort of at a crossroads where the history is going to be gone if we don't do something with it.
The Ocean Pines Historical Task Force started 9 months ago and has around a dozen local volunteers working and sorting through hundreds of pictures showcasing the town's past. And through these images, you can see everything from the transformation of the canals in 1969 to the start of the yacht club, which is now a staple to the community and even has a handcrafted model boat created by an Ocean Pines local in 1955. Other before and after pictures include the golf club building and the Ocean Pines Beach Club in Ocean City, something Brady says is an important spot for the community to meet.
People are very, very active and very friendly because they've come from all over, and so they want to make new friendships here.
If you're looking to dive into the rich history of Ocean Pines right now, there's currently a book you could buy for $20 that will show you how things changed over the 30-year span from 1968 to 1998. And plans for another book are in the works.
I think the biggest thing that we'll be looking at is to do a coffee table book. That's something that people have a lot of interest in, and it's an easy way to learn about Ocean Pines from the beginning to the present.
According to Brady, the new Ocean Pines book is still in the early stages, so you'll have to wait around 2 years to pick up that one and read, which gives you enough time to read the current Ocean Pines book that's out now. I'm Kevin Zappe in Ocean Pines, CoastTV News.
We're approaching 6:18 on this Wednesday morning, and you're looking live at a quiet scene there before sunrise in Salisbury. And Bob, when you talk about the temperatures today, you have some frost, we're going to get some clouds later. Yeah. Overall, it's a typical April day for this time of year.
Typical April, yes, Matt, indeed. And we had that threat of frost a little bit earlier on, but now it looks like that threat has gone bye-bye because we're seeing the clouds moving in. The breeze is picking up as well, and that frost advisory that was in effect has been allowed to expire. It's going to be a cool day today, more clouds than sun. I think it remains dry with temperatures in the 50s. Then rain builds in on Friday, periods of rain, and we're going to see a storm developing off the coast, lingering showers on Saturday. I think it does dry out as we go into Sunday. But right now, looks like Redden is the last city that still has temperatures in the 30s right now, 39 there. Everybody else now beginning to warm up through the low to mid 40s as the breezes are picking up out of the southeast, especially at the coast, lighter winds, inland areas, and we're increasing the clouds too, so that acts as a blanket, kind of warms us up. We're seeing some showers around the D.C. area, I-95, but I think these are going to dry dry up as they move to the east. We still have high pressure in place right now and still have a lot of dry air. So I think these showers will kind of melt away. But we are seeing some heavier rain across the Ohio Valley, even snow up into Cleveland, into Buffalo, and the Great Lakes, where winter doesn't want to end there. A lot of cold air there. But we will eventually see this system moving to the east and giving us that better chance of rain as we go into Friday. So futurecast this morning, rising through the low to mid 40s with the increasing clouds. By mid-morning, some places touching 50 degrees as the breezes are picking up out of the southeast. By noon, we could be into the mid 50s, Georgetown back through Salisbury, 40s and low 50s at the beaches. It's going to be kind of raw there as those breezes pick up into the afternoon and the clouds increase. By mid-afternoon, we're into the 50s, but it definitely will have that raw feel. And as we go into this evening, temperatures falling back into the 40s. They're not dropping that much tonight because of the cloud cover and that breeze coming off the ocean. And we could see a few showers developing, especially after midnight and then into Friday morning. Here's 7 a.m., a few showers and temperatures in the 40s to around 50 degrees. And as we go through the mid-morning hours, still cloudy, breezy, kind of raw. And then I think by the afternoon, a steadier rain is building in. So if you have plans or just traveling Friday afternoon into Friday evening, we will be looking at that rain as we're seeing low pressure developing off the coast as we go into Friday night. That means wet conditions for Delmarva back into New Jersey, maybe in the colder air, maybe some snow mixing in the Poconos, and pretty wet back into D.C. as well. And then we move into Saturday. The stronger area of low pressure moves offshore, but it's still throwing back some showers, maybe a little bit of drizzle. So much of Saturday does look cloudy and kind of unsettled, maybe still a little drizzly into Saturday night. Then I think Sunday, drier air builds in, and I think we do salvage the second half of the weekend. Those winds picking up out of the southeast as we go through your Thursday, gusting 20 miles per hour, and we'll continue that onshore flow as we go into your Friday, just adding to that raw feel. Kind of miserable with the combination of the wind and rain. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 56 today, 55 on Friday with the rain increasing, and Saturday is the beginning of Passover, looking kind of wet there, 53. I think we do dry it out for Palm Sunday, 60 degrees, and then a warm up into early next week, upper 60s Monday to 70 on Tuesday, then a little cooler but still dry into Wednesday.
All right, thanks. Bob, I think we're being told in our control room right now that we are going to go live. We're going to go back to Lewis because tracking this all morning, Elisa. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There is the train tender arriving. It's part of a new display in Lewis at the Lewis Junction Railroad and Bridge Association. So this is live now in Lewis. They're taking this tender off the flatbed of a truck that brought it in. And this is a tender. It's going to be part of a display. Now, if you've been in this area, it's near the library. There's a red caboose there, so this will go right beside that or be a part of it. And just for some background information, a tender, that's that car. If you're looking, can we go back there live? I just want to get more of that action going on there. If we're able to do that, that'd be great. The level set there. There we go. You got that tender. That's that car that if a steam locomotive would be on the back of that locomotive, like right next to it. And that's where they would have wood and coal. That would be fueling the steam locomotive. So that's part of this display. And we can see that getting ready to get off that flatbed truck that brought it in. And we're going to be tracking this to Lisa in the morning. I think we might go back to it a couple minutes from now. But we're going to continue on now with our other stories on Coast TV News today. And as we do that, we're going to move along. Don't have the prompter there, so looking to see what our next story is going to be. I apologize as we made this shift in going to some live coverage. But as we go on now, students in Worcester County are bringing attention to a sensitive topic. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and this week, 8th grade students at Snow Hill Middle School participated in the Pinwheels for Prevention campaign by setting up a pinwheel garden outside of their school. The garden symbolizes the desire for all children to have a happy and healthy childhood.
I want them to know that we as a school support anybody who is going through child abuse, and we are here for them and make sure that they are physically and mentally okay.
And we're being told students there hope the colorful display illustrates a message of unity to everyone who sees it.
Up next on Coast TV News today, Chincoteague seeks slip increase. We'll tell you how officials say the community would benefit from those increased fees. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back. Boaters on Chincoteague may soon see the cost of renting a slip at the town's marina increase. The Harbor Committee plans to increase slip rental rates for some boaters over the next 2 years. Private owners would see a total increase of about 20% after 2 years. Charter boats a jump around 50%, while watermen's rates would not change at all.
Should have been raising the rates over the last 8 years, at an incremental rate. 24.5% is a pretty big hit all at once, and I would say the shock is that basically our rates are going to go up a total of 50% within the next 2 years, and residential is only going up 20%. They're not making their living off of this. They're not trying. We need this. We need this business.
Town officials say the planned increases would generate nearly $25,000 in revenue for the harbor, which would go towards improvements like hiring fuel assistants and upgraded security measures. And Matt, we've said it's not the best beach day, but a good thing is that frost advisory, Bob said it's now been lifted.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is it like pizza? Any day at the beach is a good day. So.
That's true.
Yeah. It's like cold pizza. Cold pizza.
That's good.
Cold pizza's good.
It's good breakfast food.
My mom likes it for breakfast, yeah.
Yeah, my wife likes cold pizza in the morning, too.
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting. We're looking at chilly conditions at the beaches for today. We're going to see a little bit of sunshine, especially this morning. Fenwick Island and Ocean City, we're looking at 40s and low 50s. UV index is low. Waves around 1 to 3 feet. And Lewis and Rehoboth looking at 40s early on, and then upper 40s and low 50s as we go through the day. I think it's becoming just plain cloudy by 5 p.m. On the bay side, the next 3 days dry today in Cambridge, but then increasing rain Friday and then lingering into Saturday, and similar conditions for Crisfield as well. I don't think the weekend will be a washout, but definitely some rain chances beginning tomorrow and lingering into the weekend. More in your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
And after the break on CoastTV News today, major changes in Milton. We'll tell you why some of your favorite annual events could be in jeopardy.
Also, first speech in the first state. What's expected as Governor Matt Meyer addresses all of Delaware.
A new locomotive in Lewis. We are now only minutes away from welcoming a new train at the Lewis Junction. We'll tell you when you can get up close and see that new exhibit. CoastTV News Today will be right back.
Now on CoastTV News.
Meyer's message. It's the new governor's first State of the State address, the priorities he has pushed during his first 3 months in office.
Fading festivals, why Milton is canceling and scaling back some of the town's annual events.
Junction Function. We have the newest piece of railroad history arriving in Lewis.
A touch of frost this morning, otherwise cloudy and cool conditions today. A rainy Friday, and that rain could last into a part of the weekend. I'll track it on Futurecast coming up next.
This is CoastTV News Today.
April 10th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
And the time is 6:31. We've been following this new addition to that Lewis Railroad Junction and Bridge Association all morning. It's taking place right now, and in moments we're going to get another live look at what's taking place near the library.
Yeah, we're going to get to see that's exciting, some live action. But first, we can't leave him hanging. We're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey to tell us a little bit about our cold April forecast.
It is cold out there. Good morning. And we are looking at a frost advisory that has been allowed to expire now. We had that for the Eastern Shore and around Salisbury towards Ocean Pines, but that expired about 10 minutes ago as temperatures are on the rise now. So the threat of frost is over. 41 in Salisbury, 42 in Georgetown, 39 in Redden, and 46 from Rehoboth down to Ocean City right now as the winds are beginning to come in out of the southeast off the ocean, a little stronger at the coast, lighter inland areas, but those winds will be picking up, moisture increasing today. We're already seeing the clouds increasing, and it looks like showers on radar around the D.C. and Annapolis area now, but these showers will be bumping into a lot of dry air, so I highly doubt that we're going to see rain as we go through the morning hours, as we still have high pressure in place across the East Coast. But it is raining across the Ohio Valley, even snowing in the colder air, and that system brings rain later tonight and tomorrow. But this morning we're looking at temperatures in the 40s to around 50 by 9 a.m. around Millsboro and Ellendale, and then 40s along the coast. You're going to be in the 40s pretty much all day at the beaches with that onshore flow and the clouds, and then the clouds for the rest of us too thicken up into the afternoon with temperatures in the 50s and then in the 40s. Make sure the kids are bundled up this morning. 41 as they catch the bus, looking at a few peaks of sun, and then heading home we're looking at 55, breezy and still on the cool side.
Thank you, Bob. And a new train has arrived at the Lewis Junction. The Lewis Junction Railroad and Bridge Association is adding a donated tender to the track next to the Lewis Library.
Yeah, this is a slope-shaped car. It's going to join that red caboose, if you're familiar with it, if you've been there before. And look, there it is. It's on a truck bed. It hasn't gotten off the truck bed yet. We were wondering, what's the process in getting that? We're still trying to determine that one. But it has arrived about an hour late, a little less than an hour. We're supposed to get there at 5:30, but it's going to be part of this display.
And CoastTV, we are live there right now waiting to see what happens next. And as you can see here on your screen, you can see, I think we're just waiting to see what happens next. I'm sure it takes a lot to move that off of that truck bed.
Yeah, just the level set here. We were trying to explain this a couple minutes ago when we went live here. That the tender, if you recall, look at movies that are dealing with the 1800s, early 1900s. There's the train with the smoke coming out. And it would be that car right behind the train that had the coal that they would shovel into the furnace or the wood. That's what the tender is. So that is what is coming to this display. Again, this is in Lewis. And if you're familiar with it, if you've been there, you've seen that caboose near the library. So this is the latest edition coming in. Very exciting stuff there.
That is very exciting. And CoastTV spoke with David Ludlow at the Lewis Junction, who explains why this train is important to the history of steam engines.
So now we will have the tender, and the tender will also be another piece to tell the public about the importance of the steam locomotive era that was here at the turn of the century. So that's our first piece, and then next will be the locomotive, which will kind of complete that story.
And tours of the cars are given on weekends, including National Train Day on May 10th, which they will commemorate by driving a golden stake into the rail.
We move on, and it's another first for Delaware Governor Matt Meyer this afternoon in Legislative Hall. He will deliver his State of the State address in front of the General Assembly. This occurs 3 months after his inauguration. It also comes about a week after he made public budget amendments for fiscal year 2026, including restructuring the state income tax brackets, increasing pay for government workers, and there's also an initiative to get cell phones out of classrooms. The speech is scheduled for 2:30 p.m.
And new this morning in Maryland, Attorney General Anthony Brown is announcing the passage of several new bills focused on incarceration. Brown, along with the public defender, says the bill comes after recommendations from the Maryland Equitable Justice Collaborative, a statewide initiative to address racial disparities in incarceration. One piece of legislation broadens early release access for people who are aging or sick. Another gives long sentences, another look if that crime was committed when the offender was between 18 and 25 years old. The third aims to reduce a criminalizing of students' behavior. And an update to road work taking place in Georgetown. According to the town, after being postponed due to weather, that work is expected to happen today. This includes lane and shoulder closures. On your screen now is the railroad crossing where the Delmarva Central Railroad Company is performing maintenance work at Route 9. That work is set to begin today at 9 a.m. and that work will be completed around April 25th at 5 p.m.
Annual events changing or not happening at all this year. Downtown Milton has hosted many events in past years, like the Horseshoe Crab Festival and Pride Fest, but this year it's going to be different.
The Horseshoe Crab Festival was canceled and Pride Fest, hosted by the Milton Theater, has been scaled back. CoastTV News reporter Brendan Conroy shows us the reason for the changes and how people in Milton are responding.
Stephanie Whaley lives in Laurel and says she comes to Milton for different town events each year.
I've always had a great time. Everybody is cordial and nice, so that's why I keep coming back.
But some events are changing this year. Pride Fest will be smaller, and the Horseshoe Crab and Shorebird Festival is not happening at all.
I don't understand why it's been changed. There's been things that's been going on here for a right good while.
People like Brian File, who lives on Union Street, say they're upset about the cancellation of one and relocation of another.
It does bother me a little bit because we live right on Union Street, so anytime we're having these kind of festivals and events, it's always nice to get out and see everything going on. And it's nice to have people come into Milton to see it all happening.
The Milton Chamber of Commerce released a statement on the cancellation, saying it's due to several key challenges, including limited space and rising costs. As for Pride Fest, festivities are still on schedule with a slight change of scenery. For CoastTV News, I'm Brendan Conroy.
If you live in Delmar and see fire like this outside, The fire department says don't be alarmed in this area because according to the department, the Delaware Forest Service is performing controlled burns. This is at the intersection of Line Road and Pepper Box Road. The Delaware Forest Service plans to plant new trees on Saturday.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Today, the House could vote on a budget blueprint. And Republicans in support of it say it will not cut Medicaid or Social Security assistance for qualified beneficiaries, but Democrats say they're worried about some aspects of those programs. The plan already has the green light from the Senate, so if the House passes it, it'll likely be the foundation for how the U.S. spends money the next few years.
It's an assault on Medicaid, an assault on health care, an assault on nutritional assistance to children and families. It's an assault on older Americans.
Anybody who's an eligible beneficiary will be protected in this process. But there are a lot of other savings in fraud, waste, and abuse.
The plan asked the House Energy and Commerce Committee to come up with an $880 billion in cuts. Analysts say it is hard to do that without affecting Medicaid. Republicans say they don't want to eliminate that program, but they do want to refine it.
Got a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Presidential Cruise Convenience will tell you how one retired boat in Cambridge used to be a big help to former presidents.
Also, Cape Streak on the line. We have a dominating win by the defending girls lacrosse state champions.
And recession concerns will tell you why one financial institution says despite a pause on tariffs, the U.S. might not be in the clear. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
6:42 on our Thursday morning. Seeing the clouds increasing. Had a little sliver of sun there a couple of minutes ago. 42 in Laurel, but it's going to be more clouds than sun today for sure. As temperatures are slowly rising, still 39 in Redmond, but the rest of us are in the 40s as the clouds are moving in. Breezes are picking up, so temperatures will continue to slowly rise this morning, and the clouds continue to increase. A few showers around D.C. and Annapolis. I think these are going to dry out as they move to the east. We still have a lot of dry air over the top of us with high pressure. A lot more rain back to the west, and that will be sliding in tonight. What size coffee? This is going to be a shocker. Only large this time because, you know, we don't have a frost or freeze, so a little less stressful. 56, breezy and cool as we go through the day. Congratulations to Pamela Fennell from Salisbury on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
All right, if you're scoring at home, that is April 10th. Bob went large coffee, not extra large. We keep track of these things here. Happening today, infrastructure projects are center stage in Georgetown. Officials are hosting a workshop dealing with these updates. According to the agenda, people living in the town are actually able to attend the comprehensive plan that gives an insight to future development. This is all taking place tonight at 5.
Nighttime closures coming to one major roadway in Lewis this month, according to DelDOT. This is a part of the final part of the Route 24 at Angola Road and Robinson Road improvement project. Starting April 21st, crews will work from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m., prompting lane closures. Work includes milling, signage, and striping. DelDOT says that project is expected to be completed by May 19th.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
There's not many more dominant teams than Cape Henlopen girls lacrosse, but last night they faced one of their biggest tests of the early season. In a clash of the Titans, 4-1 Milford played host to 5-0 Cape Henlopen in girls lacrosse. In the second half, Vikings up big and looking for more. Before Avery Miller lets it fly, a whistle's blown for a free position shot, and Miller doesn't waste her chance, darting ahead and bouncing it by the keeper to strengthen the Cape lead. And that's when the floodgates opened. Haley Gamacello makes it look easy with this cutting finish on the doorstep for the Vikings, and Cape Henlopen keeps going the length of the field. Goalie Abigail Schaefer starts it all off with the pinpoint pass. And eventually, the ball finds its way to Marie Rishko, who tacks on the finishing touches. In Cape Henlopen fashion, the Vikings dominate and win it 20-6. The reigning state champs are now out to a 6-0 start. And make sure to download the DSN app and subscribe to DSN Plus so you can follow the Cape Henlopen journey as well as all the other spring sports action on Delmarva. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 4, it's Delaware High School girls soccer when Sussex Academy travels to Lake Forest. And then you can catch the final score at 10:30. On DSM Plus, you do get that soccer match and these exclusives. At 4, Bayside Conference Boys Lacrosse when Cambridge South Dorchester faces Y-High. Seaford travels to Laurel in girls soccer. And then at 4:30, Henlopen Conference Boys Volleyball. That's when Cape plays at Cesar Rodney.
And here's what's coming up this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
I know we're getting closer and closer to Friday, but we're not there yet. You can join us today at 4 on Coast Life for all kinds of fun, including...
We're going to be talking coffee theft at the office. It's our Spill the Tea.
We're going to be spilling that drama. Also, we've got a great place to welcome back the warmer months in Ocean City, especially if you're a big fan of that comfort Tex-Mex food and some homemade tortillas. All that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We will see you then.
Clouds on our Thursday morning. Gutter helmet cam right now showing, well, some ripples on the water. 45 in Ocean View with the clouds increasing, and we'll see more clouds and sun today. It will be a cool day. Increasing rain chances later tonight into a part of the weekend. Don't think it'll be a washout. I'll have your full forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
6:48, and we are taking a live look outside at Cambridge this morning. And Bob, outside it is cold. We can see that sun is out there, so that is a good sign. And if you're going outside at all today, I know hopefully I will be later. I'm going to wear some sweatshirts, that's for sure.
Wear some sweatshirts, birthday girl. Yes, and happy birthday once again, Elisa. Yeah, you'll definitely need the sweatshirt. You're going to want to layer up. We're going to see more clouds than sun for sure as we go into the afternoon. A cool day, especially with that wind coming right off the ocean, but I think it does remain dry. Rain chances increase Friday into Friday night and a part of Saturday, but I think Sunday we'll salvage that day. I think it dries out. So part of the weekend, a little unsettled, but not a complete washout. Temperatures are slowly warming through the 40s now, but still hanging on to 39 in Red and 43 in Seaford, 42 at Delmar, 46 from Ocean City up to Rehoboth right now, as the winds are beginning to pick up out of the southeast, especially at the coast, but still pretty light inland areas, and those winds will continue to ramp up as we go through the day, as we are increasing the clouds as well. Still have high pressure in place. We still have dry air. So you see these showers that are maybe hitting the ground around the D.C. area. And as they move to the east, they're going to be bumping into this dry air and probably just kind of fizzling out. Maybe a sprinkle or two, but I think they're going to pretty much just evaporate. But there is deeper moisture back to the west with low pressure across the Ohio Valley. We've got rain here and even snow in the colder air around Buffalo, Cleveland, up into the Great Lakes. Still wintertime there. Still a lot of cold air. We're not going to see the snow, but certainly the rain with this system as it starts to move to the east as we go through today. And then the rain begins later tonight. But here's Futurecast this morning at 8 a.m. I think we'll see a few more clouds it's being indicated here with temperatures into the 40s. And then lower 50s around 10 o'clock. And I think by the noon hour, a mix of clouds and sun to mostly cloudy skies. And into the afternoon, we're into the mid-50s away from the coast, but 40s, I think, at the beaches. And then everybody's in the 40s this evening. Clouds sticking up, and with the clouds and breezes, not as cold through the overnight as it has been. We're not looking at freezing temperatures. Could see a few stray showers through the overnight into tomorrow morning. I think they're widely scattered, and then a better chance of a steady rain, kind of raw conditions with 40s and 50s as we head into Friday evening, as we have low pressure developing that will be right along the coast, and it's going to be a washout Friday evening into Friday night and Saturday morning, even for Philly and Atlantic City and back to D.C. as well. I think Saturday we're going to still see a few scattered showers, and then Sunday we do start to finally dry things out, and that lasts into Monday as well. With these gusty winds out of the east and southeast in the next 24 hours, we're looking at those raw conditions, and at times those winds gusting over 20 miles per hour, especially by Friday afternoon. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, mid-50s today, and then the rain Friday 55. Kind of a wet Passover Saturday 53. Dries out for Palm Sunday 60. Milder early part of next week, and by Tuesday up to 70 and mostly cloudy.
Thank you, Bob. A presidential yacht has been sitting in Cambridge. It's at the Richardson Maritime Museum. It's been there since 2023. And this week, its crew members from all the way back in 1969, they got to climb aboard. This is a rare look inside the Sequoia. It was built in 1925, and presidents like Hoover, Roosevelt, Eisenhower, and Nixon, they all set sail on it at some point. Cruises were around 2 to 3 hours. It was a cost-effective way for the president to have cabinet meetings and to make pivotal decisions that altered the course of history. A steward that worked during Nixon's presidency shared a few stories of what it was like.
And if you went to Mount Vernon in between sunrise and sunset, Navy laws, Navy rules, regulations say that a Navy ship must give honor to George Washington. And so that was one of the things that we would do. And quite often, then the dinner would be served after that. The sit-down dinner, we could sit 22 people in this room, and then in the after salon, you could put another table with 10 more.
Richardson Maritime Museum says the reunion was about honoring the sailors and crew that worked on the Sequoia. It says the owner has been drafting plans for restoration work.
Investors cheered Wednesday when President Donald Trump paused most of his new tariffs, but the largest bank in the U.S. says that party will be short-lived. J.P. Chase issued a new report Wednesday night, and it's sticking with its forecast that there's a 60% chance the country is heading into a recession. The tariff pause is only for 3 months, and J.P. Morgan sees the U.S. war on trade as far from over.
President Trump may have paused that tariff for 90 days, but some groceries may still be getting more expensive, and that's due to the 10% tariffs that went into place last Saturday. Supermarkets sell imported items in every section of the store, and experts say shoppers could see prices rise on seafood, coffee, fruit, cheese, nuts, and even candy bars. We'll be right back.
It's 6:56, so here's another quick look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, let's have a good weather day, Bob, for Elisa's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I wish I could have beautiful blue skies, no wind, 80 degrees. That's not going to happen today. Sorry, Elisa. We're looking at clouds, breezy conditions, temperatures in the 40s and then 50s this afternoon. Those winds making it feel colder, going with a high around 56. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Overnight lows above freezing, so that's good. You can leave the plants outside. Rain increases Friday, 55. Kind of rainy into Saturday, 53. Drier Sunday, 60. And then warmer into next week. And right now, I don't know, looking a little unsettled Good Friday into maybe a part of the Easter holiday weekend.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV Midday at 11.
And until then, have a great Thursday morning, everybody.